All right, today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to build a quantitative model of PLAZM's yield engine right from scratch. And we're only going to use observable on-chain data. This is all about the pure arithmetic of the protocol. We're stripping away all the market sentiment, all the fear, all the greed, just to see what the machine itself is actually doing under the hood.
And of course, before we really dive in, I have to give the mandatory disclaimer. This is all for educational purposes. It is absolutely not financial advice. Crypto is a high-risk game. You know the drill, so please always do your own research. So here's our game plan. First, we'll break down the daily yield engine. Then we'll see how that yield gets split up. After that, we'll build out a 77-day compounding model. Then we'll quantify the supply shock from the token burn. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with what's called the convergence thesis. This number, this is what drives the entire system, $373.60. Every single day, like clockwork, the protocol's vault generates this much yield. Now let's break down exactly where that comes from. Okay, so first things first, we have to build this from the ground up. In this first section, we're going to deconstruct that core number so we can really understand the mechanics of the engine itself. So here it is, the pure arithmetic. It's actually pretty straightforward. The protocol vault holds 12,984 bonds. You multiply that by the current price of each bond, which is $39.42. That gives you the total value of the vault. Then you just apply the 26.65% APR divided by 365 days, and boom, you get a precise daily yield of $373.60. And it's all denominated in ETH. And this brings us to the most important concept of this entire analysis, separating the signal from the noise. That $373.60 in protocol yield, that's the signal. It's consistent. It's a direct function of the vault's assets and pure math. Everything else, the fear and greed index, the daily price charts, all that chatter, that's the noise. It's volatile, it's unpredictable. Our model is built to ignore the noise and focus exclusively on the signal. So the protocol generates this yield automatically every day. The next logical question is, okay, where's that money go? Let's jump into the next section and see how the protocol puts that yield to work. That daily yield gets automatically split three main ways. The biggest chunk, 65%, or about $243, goes to buy and burn. That's used to buy PLAZM on the open market and just destroy it. Gone forever. 20%, about $75, goes to buy and grow. We're going to talk a lot more about that one in a second. And 10%, around $37, goes to buy and build, which is used to deepen liquidity. You see, that buy and grow channel is the secret sauce. It's the key to the protocol's self-compounding nature. That $74 a day is used to purchase brand new yield-bearing bonds for the treasury. At today's prices, that means the vault is adding about 1.9 new bonds to itself every single day, without a single dollar of new user deposits. The engine is literally feeding itself. Okay, let's get to the core of this whole explainer. We're now going to use that daily growth rate to build a falsifiable model. We're going to project the compounding effect over one full 77-day staking cycle. Our model has to start with a known data point, right? So as of today, day 197, the Treasury holds 12,984 bonds. This is our baseline. Now, we just apply the rate of growth we already figured out from the buy and grow channel. We're going to project this constant rate, 1.9 new bonds per day, forward for the entire 77-day cycle. And here's the result. By the end of the cycle, on day 274, our model projects the Treasury will hold around 13,130 bonds. That's an increase of 146 bonds, which adds over $5,700 in new vault capacity purely from the protocol recycling its own yield. No new money, just the system growing itself. Now, any good quant model has to be transparent about its assumptions. For this projection to hold true, we're assuming the ETH price, the bond APR, and those allocation percentages all stay constant. But look, if the price of ETH were to double, for example, the daily yield would also double, which would accelerate this entire process. These are the variables you want to keep an eye on. So, we've modeled the growth of the Treasury. Now let's shift our focus to the other side of the equation, the largest allocation of that daily yield, the buy and burn function, which permanently removes tokens from the circulating supply. Over one full 77-day cycle, that 65% allocation to buy and burn, well, it really adds up. At the current rates, that's almost $18,700 in relentless automated buy pressure, all of it dedicated to one thing, buying PLAZM tokens off the market to destroy them. But what does that dollar amount actually mean in terms of token supply? Well, we take that total burn allocation and we divide it by the current market price of a PLAZM token. The result is, honestly, it's staggering. The pure arithmetic projects that nearly 1.45 million PLAZM tokens will be permanently removed from the supply. That's over 12% of the entire supply just gone in a single 77-day cycle. And this leads to a fascinating, kind of counterintuitive dynamic. When the market is fearful and prices fall, the burn mechanism actually becomes more efficient. That same dollar amount removes an even larger number of tokens from the supply. The yield engine is completely indifferent to market sentiment. It just keeps on working. All right, let's head into our final section. We're going to bring everything together now. We'll synthesize the compounding growth of the vault and the massive deflationary pressure of the burn into the model's ultimate long-term conclusion, the convergence thesis. So you've got these two opposing forces in the protocol. On one side, you have the daily emissions from staking rewards, which create new PLAZM tokens. Critically, though, these emissions are designed to decay. They decrease by 0.08% every single day. On the other side, you have the daily burn from the yield engine, which is stable and funded by an external ETH-denominated source. Convergence. That's the name for the exact moment when these two lines cross on the graph. It's the point where the amount of PLAZM being burned every day becomes greater than the amount being created. And from that day forward, the protocol becomes net deflationary. And this brings us to the model's final and, I think, most powerful point, because one force, the burn, is stable, and the other force, emissions, is mathematically designed to decrease. Their convergence isn't a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's just arithmetic. And that leaves us with one very compelling question to think about.